Welcome back, folks. Welcome to another Blood Bowl tier list. I'm Black Templar, and today we're going to be talking about tournaments. How good are these teams in a tournament? Now, you may be wondering, how does a tournament work? Now, this is something that I've been part myself in the past. The way tournaments works is quite simple. On the first day of the tournament, because normally tournaments are either a day long or 2 days, you would have a round robin event with so many players. And then what will happen is the best players will then go on to a knockout stage where they will fight to see who's number one. Now, in the tournament rules set, not everyone is given skills. You only get one skill per, team in each match to avoid potential, teams getting ridiculously overpowered. Now, that's how it works. Now, remember, this is a setting where you have a round robin, and then you will have the winners of each group will go into the brackets, while losers go home. Or one or two. It depends how big the tournament is. Normally, Blood Bowl tournaments are usually like 36 to 64. So they could have like a round robin and then, move about. But anyhow, let's get into the tournament aspect. Let's start with the Amazons. How good would they be in tournament? Now, if we're going to be honest, this is where the Amazons will struggle. Now, don't get me wrong, dodge is still a good skill, but in tournament setting, they can't like multi-skill. They have to pick one skill per, per match. And if I recall, no one player can get the same number of skills. So in other words, if say one blitzer gets a skill, then that blitzer cannot get another skill for the rest of the tournament. They have to wait until everyone else has gotten a skill. So with that in mind, and given the fact, like I said, you could be facing anyone, the Amazons drop to here. C. They're still good, but because they can't multi-skill and you can't buff up your blitzers quick enough, they're going to struggle quite a bit against certain teams. Blackhawks. Now, Blackhawks are in an interesting position here in a tournament scene. One, they can get skills more easier now because they're guaranteed a skill at the end of every match, as long as they don't die. Secondly, you could choose a skill to give to them. Now, if you're choosing to give to Blackhawks, you're 9 out of 10, you're going to give them like block or tackle or something to deal with certain players. So this is where like long time planning is in order. Long time planning is a must. So with the Blackhawks, they're back in the B section. They're in a good position. They could do a lot of work, but you have to plan way in advance. Chaos Dwarfs. Chaos Dwarfs are in a unique situation. I was going to put it straight in S, but I have to think for a little bit. Chaos Dwarfs will be in a bit of a unique situation. Now, they are slow. Some of the players are. But they can get skills for certain players, and you have to decide what you're going to give them. So, you can't, get away with a lot of stuff. You also got to pre-plan what you're facing. If you know you're going to face a lot of dodgy teams in the early stages, you're going to have ways of dealing with them. If you're facing many brutal teams, you're going to have some way to deal with them. So there's a lot of pre-planning. But in general terms, they're still a A-rank team. Not S, but A-rank. They are a top-tier team. Renegades, yet again, they're a good team. But unfortunately, they dropped it here because of the fact that only one player can get an increase. And by the time you finish your fourth match, you might not even be around throughout the tournament. You might be out, or you might be in such a bit of a not good state to compete in the next set of rounds. Chaos. Oh, Chaos, it's no brainer what you're going to do with them. They're still a good team. They can still get, you can get one of your players sure hands, and that's your main ball carrier, and get a couple of block pieces. But they are very limited because you got to remember as well, guys. In the tournament, you don't get like money to buy new players. You're stuck with what you've got and throughout the season. So Chaos, I'm going to put them in the B category. Because you have more control of what you want, like skill-wise. Now, most of the skill, guys, is usually through general. Not secondary, general. So keep that in mind. Dark Elves, easy A-rank team. Because they've got agility 4, good movement, good passing, and good trickery, they're going to be hard to deal with. And plus, with the skill choice they get, 9 out of 10, you're going to see them have a couple of tackles, a couple of dodges. So they're going to be a nightmare-ish team to deal with. Dwarfs. Well, it's no surprise, guys, they're going A right off the bat because they're slow, yes, but they're tanks, hard to shift, and 9 out of 10, the first skill they're going to get is either dodge for their, block for their runner, or guard for their front line. So they're going to be a bit of a nuisance, but they're still going to be a good team, a top-ranked team. Goblins, sorry, Gobble fans, but you're down in the dog shit category. Because even though you get one skill, even once you give the skill to your trolls, who else are you going to give it to? And that's the problem you got to look at. You really are up against the wall here against many of the other teams. So I'm sorry, guys, but you are down in the dumps. Halflings, you're the same as well. You're in the same boat. By the time you get to that point where you can reach the 4th round, you're either gone or you're in no good shape to continue on. Because you got to remember, guys, there's something you should know as well. If a player with skill dies, it just resets. It's right. He has no more skill anymore. He's a brand new player to replace. So, yeah, they're down at the bottom. Tournament is more rougher and tougher. High Elves. High Elves are in a unique place. They are expensive, but they are still good. And they've got a lot more skills. And given one skill choices, they could count some decent players. So they're going into A category. Easy A. Humans, B. Jack of all trades. They can do anything, and you could tool them up little by little to see where you want to put them. And they're more likely to get through because they are pretty good. Imperial Nobility is B as well because they've got the same things as humans. They're more better passers. They've got good players, and you're never going to put a skill point on the the fen players. You're going to put them on your throwers, your blockers, and all them. So they're B. Khemri. Now Khemri's a unique case. On one hand, you're going to give block to your throw-out right off the bat. There's no question of that. And 9 10, you're going to make the Tomb Guardians or have block, or give Blitzrod tackles. But yet again, like I said with the others, you've got to be prepared and you've got to have some inkling what you want to do with them. However, they will be very underpowered against certain teams, so they're going to the C category. Lizardmen, B. Well, let's be honest, guys. 9 10, you're going to give the Sorai the blocks to have a strong line out to hold things back while your skinks do their magic. But like I said, you only get one skill per game, so yeah, that could be where they'll hamper a bit, but they'll still be good. It's just you got to work with planning your forward movements. Necromancy. Now, Necromancy, yet again, you're going to put block on the ghouls. There is no question on that front, or the werewolves. And by the time you've got them set up to be a decent threat, they're either in deep doo-doo or they're in a stable position. So I'm going to put them in C. They're still good, but the time it takes them to get sorted is a bit ridiculous. Norse. Now, this is interesting about Norse. I'm going to put it in the B category. Now, this might shock a few people, but hear me out. They've all got block. Strong skills to start with. Your second skill, you're going to use it for either tackle pieces or mighty blow pieces or dodges, whatever their main skill set is. So you've got more options to work with, and you're going to look at where you want to, what certain players to do. And they've got many options to go around. So they're a good solid start team. Nagul. Oh, I'm sorry, Nurgle. I don't want to do this, but you're down here, I'm afraid. I'm sorry, Nurgle, but you are way too slow to get your skills. Any good Nurgle team needs a longer period to go in. I mean, don't get me wrong, your Nurgle warriors are good, your Pesco's okay, but the Rotters are your problem, and also the fact you only get one skill per match. By the time you've gotten decent skills, it's either you're already out or you're pretty much in no good state to continue on with the tournament. Ogres, well, this is the funny thing about Ogres. They can be good, but the Snotlings, you're going to put the skills on the Ogres, which is a good thing, but like I said, you've only got access to your primary skills. So don't get me wrong, Ogres with God are still good, but as soon as you get away from them, or as soon as they start having bonehead issues, they're going to fall apart. So I'm sorry, but they're going in the D category. Tournaments aren't kind, guys. They're not. They're very brutal. Orcs. B class. They're still a good solid team. They can still do the business. I mean, yes, the loss of our Blackhawks is a little bit hurtful, and the animosity can hurt them. But 9 out of 10, you already knew what you're going to do with these guys. I mean, you're not going to play the passing game with Orcs. Oh, no. You're going to take guard. You're going to take block, tackles, and mighty blows. You're pretty much going to take easy skills for these guys. And plus the fact they are tough armored, they're hard to shift, so they are still a good team. Not as powerful as these guys, but still a good team. Overworld Alliance. Down the bottom. Sorry guys, but your treatment is going to probably get guard. And the others, you know, even if you tool them up a little bit better, by the time you've reached the point where, you know, you're going to go to the next round, you're either in a bad state or you're not in a good enough position or you've lost too many matches to qualify. So Overworld Alliance is a little bit of a bad team up, I'm afraid. Pro Elves. A. What more can you say about these guys? They've got good players, and 9 out of 10, you're going to give them skills. And with the normal Elves, you're going to give them dodge or block depending on what you're facing. So they're going to be a good setup for you. Snotlings. D. I'm sorry, Snotling players. But even with the inducements help, it's not going to bail you out. And remember, you can't bring star players in because of the fact that, you know, they can't have any new skills. And the players you do give skills through, they're going to be very limited. So unfortunately, they're in the Ds. Sorry, guys. Skaven? A. The gutter runners. You're going to give the gutter runners. You're going to take the two gutter runners and the thrower list, which means you're going to have two very powerful gutter runners, a decent thrower, and good blockers. I mean, you're not going to care about the line rats getting killed because, you know, you're going to get them back anyway. They're going to die in prodigious fashion, but you really don't care. It's the gutter runners that are going to make the team. They're going to score a lot of touchdowns, and they're going to be hard to deal with. So A rank. Undead. Undead, I'm afraid they're not A's. They can be in B because they're still solid. But like I said about the ghouls, you need to protect them quickly, and you need the rights quickly to be decent. But they can still be very good and very powerful. So I'm going for B. They're a solid team, just not as great as they could be. Underworld. They're going to be C because, I guess, because of the Goblins not being strong. The normal Ratmen are not too good. The Trolls going to be okay. And your first two skills, you're going to put them on your Gutter Runner and your Thrower. No questions asked. but the rest of the team will suffer and struggle to make ends meet. But all in all, they're an okay team. Will they be tournament winners? Possible if some luck gets their way, but I wouldn't say it'd be the greatest. Vampires. Vampires are an interesting bunch. Yes, animal savagery is an issue, but here's the but. The vampires themselves, that you're going to give them all skills. 9 out of 10, you're going to give them blocks, or dodges, something to keep them around, and they will be nightmarish to deal with. However, because the thralls are so easily killable, and you're going to suffer attrition, and you've got to keep an eye on your vampires from going, batshit bonkers, and they're going to heavily drain your reserve pool, they're going to the C category. They're not bad, not dog crap, but they are on the low tier. Wood Elves. This is when Wood Elves are at their best. Because of the fact that each player can get a unique skill, one skill, and plus the fact the Wood Elves are like all elves, pretty good. They've got good agility, good movement. And let's be honest, with the normal line elves, you don't really care about them. They're not going to get many skills. And you're going to take, my guess, you're going to take the thrower, or not thrower, you're going to take probably the thrower, the thrower and the treemen, and probably a war dancer or 2 war dancers if you're lucky. But other than that, that's pretty much what else, because they're so hard to keep hold of. They can be very tricky, have some shenanigans up their backsides, and all sorts. And that's my view on the tournaments teams. What do you think? Do you think half these teams are where they should be in tournament standings? Or do you believe that some teams should be somewhere else? What do you think? Leave a comment in the comment section. And if you like the videos, please like, subscribe, ring the dinner bell. And on our last Blood Bowl tier, 2020/Blood Bowl free list, we're going to talk about Blood Bowl 7s. Where do they fit in that category? If you like the videos, you know the drill. I'll see you later.